What's up? Is it possible for us to communicate with our loved ones on the other side? Well, I want to share a little story with you guys called The Promise. This is an extended version off of the little TikTok that I did, a little short I did here on YouTube. So, in the mid 90s, I used to watch a show on TV called Unsolved Mysteries. I would watch that religiously with my grandmother. They would have marathons on the weekend. Sometimes I'd go there and just spend all weekend just watching Unsolved Mysteries, whether it was a cold, snowy, or rainy weekend in New York in the winter. I didn't want to go out. I'd just chill with her and watch it. So we were watching an episode and they were talking about someone that got hit by a car and they were on the side of a road and they couldn't find this person, and then someone saw the apparition and saw exactly where the body was, and it led the police and family to find this person. Well, during this episode, I looked at my grandmother Joan and said, Graham, when you go to heaven one day and you're with Grandpa, can you give me a sign? Can you promise me you'll come through and let me know that you're all right? But I don't want to see a bird feather or a coin on the ground, nothing like that. I need something significant. I need to know that you're okay 100% or you're not. If you can't, you can't. And she looked at me and said, yes, of course I will, dear. So fast forward about 18 years later. At that time, I was 1993. Fast forward 18 years later, you're talking like 2010, 2011-ish. My grandmother gets sick, passes away. She had cancer on the outside of her face. So she passes away, and I was very upset. And I go with my mom to a restaurant in town called Jameson's, and it's in Floral Park, Long Island, New York. And me and my mom are sitting down about to eat dinner, and a guy walks in wearing a black leather jacket with long hair and earrings. And he comes up to me and my mom and says, did someone in your family just die? And we looked at him and go, yeah. And he goes, and they had cancer on the outside of their face. I looked at this guy and said, yeah, but I didn't tell him anything else. And at the time, I was a New York City firefighter. I was not wearing any clothing, nothing like that, stating that I was a firefighter. No FDNY stuff, just dressed regular, going out for dinner with my mom. And he says to me and my mom, he goes, and which one of you, you or your mom, which one of you were born on Easter Sunday? And my mom was born on Easter Sunday in 1954. So at that moment, I knew that either someone paid this guy off, I was being set up, or I couldn't explain this. So this guy was a psychic medium. His name was Robert Hansen. He is in Merrick, Long Island, New York, and he was doing a reading at that restaurant that night, Jameson's. So the whole restaurant, or part of the restaurant. So he told us a few other things, like he said, I see a fire truck, and it's Christmas time, and your grandmother's telling me she wants to see the pictures, the pictures. And at that moment, I didn't understand what he was talking about. I go, I don't know what he's talking about, because I'm a firefighter. I got in the fire department, and I never took a picture with Graham as a New York City paid firefighter by the fire truck with Santa. I don't know what she means. Well, after the reading, I went back to my mom's house, and she said, Andrew, come here. And she pulled out old photographs from the early 2000s, 2002, 2003, when I was a volunteer firefighter. And it's me, my grandmother, my mom, and it's Christmas time with Santa Claus by the fire truck. Every year around Christmas time, we'd go to every single member's house. And around Christmas time, you'd stop there, you'd have food. People would have a spread laid out for the guys on the truck. And we'd eat food, we'd hang out, we'd take pictures with family, with kids, and we'd go to every member's house. And one year I told my mom, bring Grandma over the house, let's surprise her with Santa, because I know how much she loves Santa Claus in Christmas time. And we took photos from that year. But I had forgotten about that when I was getting read. So that is a very common thing. Sometimes you get read by a psychic. I highly encourage you to record the session or take notes, preferably record it, because when you're taking notes, sometimes it's hard to pay attention and write something down. But if you just have a iPhone or something, a recording device or a Zoom online, just hit record, be present for the whole reading, and take in everything. Well, when I got rid of Jameson's, after that moment, I was totally blown away. I waited a year. I tracked down this psychic. I got another reading. I recorded it. And at the end of the session, he said to me, this is Robert Hansen, he said to me, he said, Andrew, you know you have a gift. I said, what gift? What are you talking about? He goes, the gift of being a psychic medium. I said, no, I'm a New York City firefighter. I'm not a psychic, bro. Like, What are you talking about? I have a job. I'm happy. And he goes, no, no, you have this ability. I said, okay, well, what do I do with this? He said, come here on the weekend and I can show you how to tap into it at will, and you can interpret the messages that are around. But you're already seeing them, they're already around. Now, at the time, I had meditated before, but I had not talked to my departed loved ones regularly. What's up, Ange? And I figured this was a very cool way to try this out, see what I had to lose. Why not, right? So I went there that Saturday to Robert Hanson's. I go in, there's about 20 to 30 people I don't know. It's a small room. This is pre-COVID. Was sitting there. I recorded a lot of these sessions. I still have them on my phone, and I will release them one day. These are way back in the day, like 2011-ish. Me sitting there with people I don't know, just starting out reading. And I remember going in there. I sat in the front because I wanted to pay attention and wanted to absorb everything. And I wanted to look and see, what is this guy doing? What is the trick? How do I figure this out? Maybe he's not real, maybe he is, but I'm going to figure this out somehow. So I went there, we sat, we meditated for 5 minutes. He paired us up with people. I don't know anyone in this room. I sit knee to knee with someone I don't know. He goes, okay, now look at them and just say what you're seeing. And I'm sitting knee to knee with someone that I don't know. I look at them, and all of a sudden, right behind them, I start to see images, black and white image after image after image start to show up. So I look and I'm seeing like a black and white movie, and I see a car going down the block backwards. I see it hitting the tree and someone getting ejected, but they lose their left leg, but they're alive still. I described that to the person I'm reading, and they said, yeah, that's my Uncle Vinny. And I'm like, what? No, they got to be lying to me. There's no way this is real. So I went back every weekend. I did this for months upon months. I used to drive all the way from whether I was living in New York City or outside the city, hour, 2 hours. I didn't care. I wanted this. I was willing to do whatever it took to really harness this ability. I used to work in the firehouse during the week, go to train at Robert Hanson's on a Saturday, and then when I had time off, I would read people on my days off for nothing. Just, I love the exchange. I love helping people. And if somebody could heal me or help me with a reading, which Robert Hanson did, if I had that same ability and I could help and heal somebody, I figured, well, I have a full-time job. I'm happy. I don't need anything else. I'm set up. I just want to give that back. So I started doing that, and I started doing this every week, every week, every weekend. Then I started reading people I knew, people I didn't know, relatives of people that I didn't know, cousins of theirs. That way we could eliminate that I possibly knew anything about these people. And then this went on for months upon months till about a year into it. And I finally had that moment where I read someone and I knew this thing was for real. And anyone that's on this journey, or doing psychic work or tower work or any sort of spirituality, you probably will have that moment where you're going to have that reading at some point and you're going to go, whoa. They call it like an aha moment. You're just going to go, wow, this thing is for real. I can't explain this, but I know this is real because I don't know this person. They know nothing about me. I know nothing about them. Yet I'm telling them specific details about one of their loved ones that I could not possibly know anything about. And I was sitting there reading somebody, and I said, there's a young girl coming through. Her name begins with a V. It's Victoria or Vanessa, something like that. It's a holiday weekend. It's Long Island. I see the ocean or the harbor. I see water there. I see a boat turned upside down. There's a missing person. We're looking for a missing person. And this person is crossed. There's a young soul coming through. The name starts with a V. And at that moment, I looked in my room where I was doing this reading, and I could see a 2 to 3 foot tall, white, glowing object. It looked like literally a 2 or 3 foot tall ball of white light. It was straight up and down. Okay, it wasn't wide, it was just straight up and down. I didn't know if this was the soul of somebody. I didn't know if this was an alien. I didn't know if this was my imagination. I didn't know, but this thing was in the room. And the person I was reading, I said, hey, do you see that? And they said, yeah. So we both saw this thing. And I explained this to the person. I said, this young soul crossed. They're expressing to me that their mom is having a tough time dealing with their crossing still, that their room is still intact from when the moment this young soul died, this girl. Her parents have not touched her room, even though it's years later. They've not touched the room. It's exactly still intact. and she's expressing to me a man with an A on his head, like an Avengers outfit or a Captain America. There's an A on his head. And she's also showing me a young girl in a pink shirt with white hearts on it. Now, the person I'm reading at the time, she goes, well, I don't know about the A on the head with the man, and I don't know about the pink shirt with the white heart on it. So I finished the reading. At the end of the reading, the person I'm reading says, I had a friend, a best friend of mine, whose daughter, her name began with a V. It was a holiday weekend in Long Island. She was out on a boat. They got struck by something. The boat flipped upside down. They had a missing persons report. They didn't know where this little girl was, so they had a missing persons report at first. Now the girl ended up drowning. But at first they thought she was just missing, and the parents kept the room intact since that moment. It's been years later. And the girl had come through before with this girl in other readings. She's around me a lot. That is true. But I had never communicated with this girl or anyone around her, and definitely not a friend of a friend. That's tough to do. It's not a direct relative. So this is a friend's daughter. But just because you're not blood with somebody, anyone can come through during a reading. Just because you're not related, just because you're not blood, you could have a neighbor, somebody you grew up with, a coworker, one of their parents, or one of their loved ones can come through. Why? Because you're open. You're the entry point. So you could be getting a message to deliver to a coworker, to a friend, to a relative, and you could be providing some healing for the person. So they may have a message for you to pass on to their mom or dad, and that might be exactly what that person needs to hear that day to get through their day. So at the end of this reading, the person that I'm reading says, yes, this girl passed away. There's articles in the newspaper that you can look up about this girl crossing, the event that happened. And the girl says, oh, there's a memorial page online for this girl. Let's take a look. I can show you some photos of her. So, oh, cool. So we go online and we look at this memorial page. I had never heard of this story. Long Island, New York City, there's so many people that pass, so many stories. I don't know unless I'm directly connected to someone or I was at a fire or responded to it. I wouldn't remember somebody just dying like that because there's so many stories, unfortunately, out there like that. So we're on this website in memory of this girl, and we're looking through photos, and all of a sudden there's a photo of a man with an Avengers outfit on with the A on his head. I go, whoa, what's that? Who's that? So we click on the photo, and she goes, oh, whoa, that was the girl's stepfather, but he raised her like his own daughter. He was very important to her. So when the reading happened and this happened, okay, when this came through, the reason that the girl was expressing this was because this person was dear to her heart, even though it wasn't a direct blood parent, whether it's a step parent. If you raise somebody, if you look out for them, if you take care of them, if somebody crosses, they will recognize you. They will validate your love and the way you took care of them here on planet Earth. Or if you don't take care of them, they could validate that too. And they will, because it's not all honky dory, it's not all love and light on the other side. How the souls are here on Earth, that's how they are on the other side. That saying, as above, so below, applies with this stuff. When you're doing readings and you're feeling the energy if someone is around, the soul, it should be exactly as they were here on earth. They should be there the same way on the other side in a soul form. As above, so below. That's what the expression means. We're still going through the website looking at other photos. All of a sudden, there's a picture of a girl in a pink shirt with a white heart. I go, oh, stop. Who's that? We look at the photo. That was the girl that passed away. There's a photo of her in a pink shirt with a white heart on it. And that's what she was showing me. I could see it in the reading. I didn't know who this girl was. I just saw a young girl, pink shirt, white heart, crystal clear. And as a psychic medium, it is my job, my responsibility. This is the way I was trained to pass this information along. Now, whether the info is good, bad, maybe you don't want to say something, maybe you feel weird saying something to somebody, maybe something controversial comes up, maybe something comes up about a loved one or a spouse or someone cheating or infidelity. It is my job as the psychic medium to relay that info to you. I am not here to make friends. I am here because I have a job to do. I have to pass this message on. You have a loved one that's departed on the other side that needs to express this to you. It's none of my business why. I don't pick and choose what comes through. Whatever is there, I have to pass this on to you because they want me to relay this to you. That is the job of a psychic medium. This is how I was trained to do this work. You see the information, you pass it along, and you let them deal with it and handle it. But you have to pass this on. If you don't, or you're lying, or you're not being honest about it, now you're giving information to someone that you're reading that is not accurate. Now you're preventing their healing process or their potential to heal and grow and move on. That's the point, right? Somebody goes to therapy. They want to grow. They want to expand. They want to evolve. Someone comes for a reading. They need closure. They want to grow. They want to evolve. They want to expand. You might be relaying something to them that you think is not good, but it's exactly what they might need to hear in that moment. But it's none of your business why. Your job as a psychic medium, with how I was taught back in the day in 2011 by Robert Hansen, you pass along the information exactly how you see it. And that's that. Doesn't matter what it is. We're not here to hurt or not hurt feelings. It's not about that. I don't do that. I'm just that middle person. I open the window between the person I'm reading and their departed loved one on the other side, their friend, family, relative, pet, whatever's on the other side. And that's it. I do my job. And at the end of the session, I go home. I don't hold on to it. I leave whatever there in the room. I leave it right there when I walk out. So I just wanted to do a quick little video today. Just wanted to expand upon that promise. I'm going to be doing these weekly, bi-weekly. I got a lot more things coming. Any topics that people want me to cover, feel free to comment, drop me a line, drop me a DM. And anyone out there, you guys know how to get in touch with me. You want me to talk about something, I'm going to have guests on. I'm going to have all sorts of people from psychic community to authors to all sorts of amazing people that are involved with these subjects, because we're at the point now in our evolution in humanity, right? We need to come forward. We need to continue to share our stories, our experiences. And if you're in Australia or you follow me on any social media, be sure to tune into Close Encounters Down Under. I'm in a TV series on mainstream TV here, Channel 7 Plus. It's also on A&E through the rest of the world. It's going to be airing in America at some point. Be sure to tune in, check in. You can DM me. I have a copy as well. It's on all my social media profiles. And be sure to go to 7plus.com. That's the mainstream TV website. You can stream it for free there, all 6 episodes. And thanks to you guys from watching and sending awesome feedback. Season 2 is right now in the works. They are discussing doing season 2. And that is because of you guys. So continue to talk about this, share your story, talk to people, scream if you have to. Do not hold on to this. Find your tribe, find your people out there. DM me, DM somebody, and find a solid group that you can connect to and keep it tight and be there for each other with unconditional love, right? That's why we're here. We're here to be there for each other. One day at a time, we'll sort this thing out as we go. So you guys have an amazing day. Have a great rest of the week. Talk to you guys soon.